You walk into a room and feel the eyes measuring you, not because of your outfit, but because you still dare to care. That is exactly what happened to Meryl Streep at 74 years old. She appeared on a red carpet wearing a flawless dress, and the comments were not about the movie. They were about why she was showing off. Interesting, is it not? When a man wears a well-tailored suit, he is respected. When you wear an elegant dress after 50, you are trying to get attention. The truth is that your elegance exposes something painful in others, their own resignation. Every time you choose to dress well, you are saying no to the laziness disguised as being natural. And that bothers people, because your intentional presence acts as a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see reflected. Would you like to know how to turn that discomfort into your greatest strength? Subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, and leave your like, because here you will learn that elegance is not vanity. It is a quiet declaration that you still matter. But before you learn how to use this to your advantage, I need to tell you what is really behind people's discomfort. Other people's discomfort is just a reflection of their own surrender. When Christine Baranski appeared in The Gilded Age, with immaculate silver hair, the posture of someone who never apologized for existing, wearing dresses that cost more than cars, the world did not speak about her performance first. It talked about how she dares to look so magnificent in her 70s. But here is the unspoken truth. Her elegance disturbs exactly those who expected her to be retired from glamour. Her impeccable presence is living proof that she did not give up, and that is unbearable to those who already gave up on themselves. Now look around. You fix your hair, apply some lipstick, choose a well-tailored blouse, and someone says, "Wow, getting all dressed up for what?" But the issue was never your neckline or your heels. When you take care of yourself, you shine light where others chose darkness, and that exposes their own neglect. You do not need to shrink because of it. And there is more. There is a specific type of person who will try to convince you that less is more, but for reasons that are not noble at all. Your spine is worth more than any diamond necklace. Have you noticed how Maggie Smith in Downton Abbey never needed to shout to dominate a scene? She simply sat up straight, lifted her chin 2 centimeters, and suddenly all the other characters seemed to be asking for permission to breathe. But here is the trick. It was not arrogance, it was alignment. So when someone makes a snide remark about you being all dolled up, your first instinct is to shrink your shoulders, lower your head, take up less space. But that is exactly what they expect, a silent surrender. Every time you shrink in response to criticism, your body memorizes the defeat. The shoulders drop, the breath becomes shallow, the gaze turns away. But when you straighten your spine, square your shoulders, and take a deep breath, not as a challenge, but as someone who knows her place in the world, something shifts in the air. People pull back. Not because you were aggressive, but because you took up your rightful space without negotiation. Posture creates an invisible zone of respect, and even those who criticized you begin to measure their words. But there is one detail that transforms posture into presence, and it is something you can do right now, sitting where you are. The world wants you in sweatpants. Resist. When Queen Elizabeth II turned 90 years old, someone asked why she still wore elaborate hats, gloves, and brooches every day. The answer was simple. Because I wake up every morning. She turned getting dressed into a statement of existence, not for the subjects, not for the cameras, but for the mirror. But here is the trap they sold you, that dressing up for no reason is silly, vain, even pathetic, that you should only make an effort if there is an audience, an occasion, someone to impress. You begin to negotiate with yourself. I am not going out today, so who cares? No one is going to see me anyway. And little by little, your sweatpants become the mirror of surrender. But when you choose that necklace that catches the morning light, when you apply lipstick just because you like the color, when you wear fabric that embraces your body the right way, you are saying that your own company deserves the best of you. Every time you get dressed without a reason, you are refusing voluntary erasure. And that scares those who already quit on themselves. Have you also felt that your elegance bothered someone? But there is one piece in your wardrobe that separates those who just dress from those who communicate. The apology you do not even realize you are making. And every woman who refuses to shrink, whether she's an actress, a queen, or a neighbor, makes the world uncomfortable for one simple reason: she has not given up. But most of us were taught differently. When someone notices your new dress, your first reaction is to downplay it. "Oh, I got it on sale. It is nothing special. It was just sitting in my closet." Every time you apologize for being beautiful, you are teaching others to disrespect you. Someone compliments your appearance, and you immediately deflate the praise, as if being well-dressed were a crime that requires bail. "Wow, you look gorgeous." "Me? No way, I barely got ready." And just like that, you cancel out your own effort. But when you simply respond, "Thank you," without irony, without explanation, something fascinating happens. The person runs out of script. Your calm acceptance of the compliment becomes a mirror. It shows that the discomfort was never yours, it was theirs. Elegance does not debate, it does not defend itself, it does not apologize, it simply exists. And I know, because I have done that too. I remember the first time I heard, "Who are you trying to impress?" And for a few seconds, I wanted to disappear. Today, I understand. It was not shame. It was the beginning of courage. I have downplayed compliments. I have hidden my joy so as not to seem arrogant. But true arrogance is believing that other people's comfort matters more than my truth. But there is one mistake even elegant women make, and it can destroy presence in seconds. The trap of wanting to be one of us. Remember when Lady Gaga showed up at the Oscars in 2019 with no extravagance, just that classic black dress and the Tiffany necklace? Everyone applauded her maturity. But here is the uncomfortable truth. She was not conforming. She was choosing. When you dress to not stand out, to fit in, to be appropriate for the setting, you must ask yourself, appropriate according to whom? Most of us were conditioned to look around before getting dressed, as if elegance were a crime that needs camouflage. You walk into a party and think, "Am I overdressed?" Your body tenses. You tug at your skirt, adjust your necklace, look for someone dressed like you to validate your choice. But when you ask yourself, does this outfit represent who I am now? Not who you were at 30, not who your neighbor is, not who a magazine says you should be. The answer changes everything. If you feel comfortable in your own skin, if the fabric speaks to your body instead of fighting it, if you recognize yourself in the mirror, that is it. You have won. Elegance was never about unanimous approval. It was about authentic choice. And there is something you can do tomorrow morning that will protect your elegance from any comment. When the outfit lies, the body tells the truth. Most of us wear what we should instead of what we are, and the body always reveals the lie. You know that day when you wear the perfect outfit, the one everyone praises, but you spend the whole time pulling the sleeve, fixing the waist, feeling like you're in costume? That is not imposter syndrome. It is incoherence. You are wearing someone else's expectation. But when you choose a piece that speaks to your essence, it may be minimalist, it may be extravagant, something shifts. You forget you are even dressed. True elegance does not scream, "Look at me." It whispers, "I live here." Because authenticity does not need defense, it does not seek validation, it does not beg for approval. It simply exists, and anyone who has a problem with that is revealing far more about themselves than about you. But there is one last lesson that turns all of this from theory into daily emotional armor. What your elegance reveals about those who criticize you. Do you know why no one comments when a 60-year-old man wears a tailored suit, a Swiss watch, and polished shoes? Because we expect that from him. We call it distinction. But when you, at 50, 60, 70 years old, appear in a perfectly fitted dress, with cared-for hair, and that air of not asking for permission, suddenly it becomes too much. The discomfort was never with your outfit. It was with your refusal, because you did something most have stopped doing. You chose yourself. When someone says, "You are too dressed up just to go to the store," what they really mean is, "I have given up even dressing up for myself, and you are reminding me of that." Every critique is a disguised confession. Your elegance is living proof that aging with intention is possible, but it takes courage. Courage to look in the mirror and not negotiate. Courage to invest time in yourself without an audience. Courage to reject the voluntary erasure they sell as natural. When you shine, you bring light to the darkness where others have chosen to hide. And that hurts. Not you, them. Your elegant presence is a relentless mirror. It reflects resignations, fears, postponed choices. But here comes the question that changes everything. What do you do with this power? The company you keep determines how much you allow yourself to shine. Most of us were raised in tribes where shining was betrayal of a collective pact of mediocrity. When you start dressing well, you are not just changing clothes, you are changing frequency. And not everyone can keep up. There are people who, when you show up dressed well, give you that look. You know which one, that mix of surprise and disapproval, as if you broke an unspoken agreement of neglect. But there is another kind of person, the one who asks where you bought your necklace, who wants the name of your lipstick, who genuinely celebrates your transformation. Your first task is not to convince the former, it is to get closer to the latter. Because those who celebrate your shine are not competing, they are allowing themselves to dream again. They understand that your elegance does not reduce their space, it expands the territory for all. When you surround yourself with these women, you stop negotiating how much you are allowed to shine. You simply shine, and inspire others to do the same, without fear, without guilt. But there is one final truth about elegance that no one tells you. The day you almost give up, and why you must not. Anna Wintour has kept that iconic haircut for decades, despite criticism saying it is outdated or too severe. But she never changed, because that look is not meant to please gossip magazines. It is for her to recognize herself in the mirror each morning. The day will come when you will look at that dress in your closet and think, is all this hassle really worth it? Pay attention to that moment of weakness, because that is when most give up, not because they lack beautiful clothes, but because they are emotionally exhausted from having to defend themselves. But when you return to your why, when you ask, why did I start taking care of myself? The answer is never to impress the neighbor or to prove something to my sister-in-law. You started because you were tired of feeling invisible, because you wanted to look in the mirror and recognize the woman you have always been, not the faded version the world tried to make you accept. You started out of dignity. And when you reconnect with that reason, criticism loses its address. Because you are no longer seeking external validation, you are honoring an internal pact. And now, the part no one talks about, how to turn all this knowledge into permanent emotional armor. You have no idea how many women are silently watching you. Remember that scene from The Devil Wears Prada, where the assistant starts changing her wardrobe after seeing Andy transformed? No one asked, no one preached, but the elegance of one ignited the courage of another. When you walk into a space well-dressed, you are not just taking up space, you are redrawing what is possible for those who are watching. But here is the cruel detail. Some will criticize you out loud precisely because they admire you in silence. The same person who says, you go overboard with your clothes, goes home and tries on that forgotten dress. The one who says, you care too much about looks, is secretly writing down the name of your lipstick. Because criticism and admiration are twin sisters, and most people do not know how to separate them. Your elegance functions as invisible permission. You are not saying, do it like me, you are saying, do it for yourself. Every time you get dressed without apologizing, without justifying, without downplaying, you are sending a silent message to all the women around you. We still matter. Aging is not giving up. Your elegance was never the problem. It was the solution. What did we learn here? That other people's discomfort is a disguised confession. That posture is worth more than any accessory. That you get dressed to remember who you are. That accepting compliments without justification is pure power. That comparison is a waste of energy. That authenticity is the choice that never goes out of style. And that your elegant presence gives silent permission for other women to shine too. The next time someone asks, who are you getting dressed for? You already know the answer. For myself. And if that bothers anyone, the issue was never your neckline, it was their surrender reflected in you. Because elegance after 50 is not vanity, it is refusal. Refusal of erasure, of invisibility, of apologizing for still being alive and vibrant. The next time someone says you are showing off, smile. Because what she calls showing off, the world will remember as an example. And if this video lit a spark in you, leave your like and subscribe to this channel. Because here we do not teach fashion, we teach dressed dignity. Comment, elegance is my daily choice, if you are ready to stop negotiating your shine. Because dressing well is refusing to disappear. And that, dear, is the kind of rebellion the world needs more of.